Baseball Nation. We're here with Coach Mike Laird as we preview the 2018 baseball season. Coach, appreciate you coming in for a little bit. He's got the list of guys we need to talk about, but before we get to them, let's recap 2017 briefly. Your thoughts on how the year went. Yeah, it was one of those.
Probably this is one of the toughest years I've ever had here from the standpoint of our record. We lost a lot of close games, that sort of stuff, and just it was a tough year all the way along. And we got made a lot of changes. I think team culture is one of the areas that I thought really needed some improvement, and I think we're better athletes this year too. So pretty optimistic about this year. But last year was tough. There's no two ways about it. It was a tough year for us.
Definitely. Talk about the offseason a little bit. I mean, you already alluded to bringing in maybe some better players, changing some culture things, getting everybody buying in more, etc. I guess talk about the last few months as you're preparing to get into this year.
Yeah, it was a long process, but the strategy was to obviously we didn't want you don't want history to repeat itself in an instance like that, and so what was the strategy? Well, it's maybe we go other places to look at me in particular. It's my responsibility to recruit guys. So where am I getting guys from? What am I going to do differently? And what are some of the things I'm looking for that can hopefully get us back to where we were before? And I think we did that, or I think I was able to do that. I hope, and really like the guys. Really like the new guys that we got in, and so it's definitely going to be a different group.
Yeah. We
have only one position starter back.
Yeah.
And some of that's by design, and some of it's through graduation, obviously.
Yeah.
So
definitely. Alrighty, well, let's get right into it. I know there's a good chunk of guys, as always, and you got to talk a lot of pitchers and backups and all of that. So let's get right into it. Pitchers, who we got on the hill?
Well, we've got a couple guys that are that have been here. Trent Barnett from Eddyville. He's a third year guy now, and he's been a relief pitcher for us the last couple of years, and he's done a pretty nice job at times. Last year we had to rely on him a bit too much. I think pitching was an area that we did not have enough depth in, obviously, and we gave some games away at the end because of that. So, but Trent's going to help us again. He's in that role. Got a couple other guys back that pitched some last year. Michael Keegan, he was a relief pitcher. Did okay most of the time, but he's much improved from last year, and he's kind of settled down a little bit. And we're looking for some good things for him, relief-wise, out of the pen. DJ Milam, threw quite a bit for us. He had probably 9 or 10 starts, something like that. And DJ, he got some tough assignments. He got some of the better teams right off the bat, first game of the weekend series, that sort of stuff. And he's looking really good. I'm real happy with his progress, and he's pretty fired up. It's his last year, and so looking for real good things from him. Also, Nick Seipel. Nick Seipel had a lot of starts. We kind of used a couple of those guys, DJ and Seipel, a lot. Probably left them in, an inning or an extra 15 or 20 pitches in some instances that, had we had a little bit stronger bullpen, we wouldn't have had to do that. So hopefully we can keep those guys not only healthy, but keep them at top form throughout the year instead of kind of wearing down a little bit.
Sure.
So got another guy that's probably going to pitch some that didn't pitch much last year, but he's looking pretty good. He was here last year. He played primarily in the outfield, and that's Wilson Lorenzo.
Okay. He's
really our only lefty. But we just kind of thought, he struggled some defensively in the outfield. He does have a good bat from the left side. But defensively, it's kind of like, are we going to try that again or not? And so let's try the pitching thing, because he did pitch a little tiny bit for us, and he's pitched before, coming here, and he's looked really pretty decent. And so that was kind of a good, maybe I don't know if it's a surprise, but it's somebody that didn't get in there very much last year that's way improved.
Sure. Continuing, any other returners?
Pitching wise, there's a couple guys. I'm not sure they're going to make the squad. quite frankly. But you know, we're better.
Yeah.
You know, we've got some better new guys. You know, we do have a couple other guys. It's going to be very, very competitive. You know, as far as who's beyond that. I mean, we've got Scott Simpson's back. Dino Landucci's back. They pitched some for us last year, but it's really a competitive situation with the new guys and some of those other guys I mentioned earlier.
Definitely. Talk about the new guys then.
Well, we have several.
Yeah.
Nick Bruns from Illinois, real good, real strong starter prospect for us. I look for him to be one of the top 4 guys on the weekend. You know, really focused. He's got good stuff. You know, he's a guy that I really think is going to be a big contributor right away on the weekends. The other guy is Isaac Luth. Big kid, 6'6" kid. He's got a big league arm, literally. Just doesn't have
D1 transfer.
Yeah, D1 transfer from Bradley. Just hasn't had an awful lot of outings, a lot of experience out there as far as innings.
Right.
We're going to get him out there as often as we can, probably in the closer role. But he works as hard as anybody you're going to find. A lot of our guys have worked really, really hard. It's really been a good group. So he's there. Forgot to mention Austin Neff last year too. That would, you know, Austin did a nice job for us last year too, and he's a senior. So, and Austin has looked really good so far. So there's a little bit more. There are a few more guys that have had some legit starting experience and accumulated some innings. Last year coming in, we didn't have a whole bunch of guys that had, you know, had a lot of starts and stuff. So that's going to help us. That experience is going to help us. Augie Voigt from College of Lake County. He was 8-2 last year in junior college. Augie's definitely got a good starter potential for us too. He gets after it. He's gonna, you know, should be a good starter for us. And Tommy P, I can't even pronounce his last name.
Zekwis or something like that, right? I don't know. I'm just guessing.
It's one of those names that's you know, even hard to read.
Yeah.
But Tom's got a different arm angle. He's a long, lanky guy, and gives you a different look. And so we're expecting some help from him too. And Cody Glossier he's from Florida, went to school at Bishop State down in Alabama. He's got some potential too to be in there. So, you know, we've got quite a few guys. Sure. One thing I normally don't have is we've got 2 or 3 position players that really do look like they can help us on the hill, at least in a relief role.
Yeah.
So there are, you know, a couple of those guys, 2 or 3 of those guys as well.
Guys that could probably be thrown in non-conference games, or
or
in a spot where maybe the game's not as close, so you don't have to burn up, you know, the traditional arms.
So we just didn't even have that last year. We didn't have enough of that. So it's encouraging to have you know, a dozen or so arms that I think we can go to.
Definitely. All right, let's talk, if you covered everybody, I think you did, let's talk about the other side of the battery, talk about the catchers.
Okay, that's, you know, we lost 2 seniors last year. You know, we were like, hey, we need some immediate help here. We've got 3 or 4 guys, I think, that are kind of battling for it right now. One is from Jimmy Blake. He was the battery mate of Cody Glossier down at Bishop State. He's looked pretty good. Another one is Ball from Big Bend. These are big kids. You know, these are guys that you know, defensively, it's kind of a battle right now. But those 2 guys in particular can hit. They can, you know, they're big kids. They can swing it a little bit. Ball, despite the fact that he's a big dude, he can run. You know, he's very deceptive. He's athletic. He can steal a bag, and he weighs 225 pounds. So it gives me hope for later. But TJ Boyle from Oskaloosa, you know, a year ago he just kind of hung in there. He kept getting a little bit better. I mean, he's much improved, and his bats come around. You know, I mean, throwing is an issue with him right now, but I can see, you know, him occasionally coming in, you know, pitch hitting and stuff for us, and he's a good kid, real good kid. So anyway, those guys kind of almost wrap it up. We got another guy named Fabio Espinoza that's outstanding athlete, really good athlete, and so it's kind of up in the air yet with about 4 guys, 4 or 5 guys. Got another freshman named Hunter Destable, who caught a lot in the fall for us, and real good receiver. Had a little bit of trouble with the stick, but all 5 of those guys actually are, they're pretty decent. They're pretty decent players.
Yeah.
And so that's good.
Definitely.
That's a good thing to.
Whatever's easiest here, if you want to talk about corner infielders individually, or go first and then third, or combine them together, because I assume they're probably going to have an opportunity to mix up a little bit. I'll corner guys.
Talk just a little bit about the middle guys.
Okay, middle guys first, whichever. Yep.
Julian Vallejos is our only starter, full-time starter that's really, that is with us right now.
And an all-conference guy from last year.
Yep, so, and he's a very good player. He's one of the top middle infielders in our league. On either side of the bag, he's a good player. Plays hard, hitting the 2-hole for us. He'll probably do the same thing this year. He could play on either side of the bag, like I said, but he's a good player. He's a really good player. So we got him back. We got some other guys too. We got Cody Anton. He's from Itasca Junior College up in Minnesota. Their coach is a good friend of mine. Hits from the left side. He hit about I think it was close to 380 last year from the left side. And he's a pretty good player too. Nick Worcester's been here for this is his 3rd year, and Nick's got a shot in there. I mean, Nick's going to at least provide depth, and Nick can even go in the outfield a little bit. Isaiah Almanza, another junior college player he's actually from St. Cloud Community College up in Minnesota. Heck of an athlete, really good athlete. Hit probably top 5 in the country in that level of junior college last year. I think he hit 479. And he may be a leadoff. He's got some pop though. He's not just a punch and Judy type hitter. He can drive the ball. Real athletic, real good arm strength. Can pitch a little bit. So to be honest about it, Almanza and Vallejos, they're probably going to be in there one side or the other of the bag, and they're pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good combination, those 2 guys.
For sure.
And then Anton Worcester got a shot too to be there.
Corner guys.
Corner guys, got Philip Berman back from last year. Phil's a tremendous guy, super team guy. He hit really well in the fall for us. So he's got a chance in there. Got another guy in from another junior college, Itasca, like I said. That's where Cody Anton's at. Another big guy named Raheem Hampton. Raheem is a big dude, and if he runs into it, the ball stays in the air quite a while.
Right.
I hope not just pop-ups.
Right.
He can, if he drives the ball, it's he's a legit home run threat. Does a good job around the bag, and guy weighs 250, but he's not slow. I mean, what I'm saying is we got guys that are big guys, but they run pretty decent. They're athletic. So those 2 guys there. Goodman again has got a shot too over there. His main positive is going to be a stick from the left side. He provided some key hits for us last year down the stretch, and so Jared Goodman is somebody also that's in the mix at first. Seth Rice back at 3rd. He's been the front runner all year basically. He's like Ball, they're from the same JUCO, Big Bend out there, and know their coach real well too. But Ricebeck he's got a serious defensive glove. He's a very good player. Never gets excited. Just makes play after play after play after play. Very accurate thrower. Makes all of the plays. And I think he was their 4-hitter too in junior college, so he can hit. Good thing about Seth is he can also pitch a little bit. So there's another one of those guys that dual position guys, and but he's doing a nice job. So outfield wise, could have a couple freshmen starting. Both of them are all-state players from Iowa,
Right.
which we haven't had that forever.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, to get those types of guys from Iowa.
Yeah.
One's Cale Lamb, and Cale's a big kid. Both these kids are good size. They're athletic. They can run. They can throw, and they can hit a little bit.
Yeah.
Cale actually led us in hitting in the fall, which totally surprised all of us. Yeah, I mean he's a big kid. You know, he's 6'3", about 200 pounds. He can run and throw. The other one's Matt Rhodes. Matt Rhodes, another all-state kid from Woodward Granger. Another big kid, 6'1" or 6'2", about 195, 200 pounds. Those guys, both of them could be out there starting in the outfield. A lot of, you know, the only thing with that is taking them a while to learn a little bit of the routes and anticipating rather than reacting on jumps and stuff, because a lot of them played, you know, they played a lot of infield in high school, but they're good players. Another guy that just came in, real happy to get him, is Tanner Hamblin. Tanner's from Salt Lake City Community College. Big kid, 6'4", 6'5", about 220. Very athletic. He can play first. He could probably play third, play anywhere in the outfield, and he pitches.
Yeah. And
he's got a lefty stick. And he's a big kid.
Right.
And I've seen him hit balls a very long way.
Yeah.
So
denting the pack, right?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope he puts some on top of the pack.
Yeah.
But he's a real good athlete. You know. You know, we've got some other guys that are back. I'm not sure how much they're going to figure into playing right away. And, you know, we've got some younger kids. But varsity-wise, I think I've hit most of the guys that are, you know, probably going to be at that level or going to be figuring into at least the first few weekends till we see how everybody does.
Definitely. But for everything I'm hearing, sounds like a lot of depth, a lot of versatility, you know, and just an improvement overall in almost every position.
Yeah.
Especially pitching, having just a lot of depth and a lot of options to go with. What the day is. So
you know, I don't know if I've not figured that out until now. All of a sudden the light went on. Hey,
when you finally see it on
let's
paper,
get some really good guys that can play utility type.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a, you know, when you hear the word utility, some guys think, oh man, I'm a utility.
Right.
I said, man, that's good.
Yeah.
You know, that means you can run. That means you can throw. That means you're athletic, probably more so than some guys that are stuck at one position for their whole life, because we're not real flexible.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're a pinch hitter, you better, you know, we can't fill the bench up with pinch hitters.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, if you're going to be a pinch hitter, you better be able to really, really hit.
Right.
And so yeah, you can't have 5 or 6 guys like that sitting around.
Exactly.
You know, keeping the bench warm.
For sure. All right. Now that we talked about the players, let's talk about the schedule a little bit. Non-conference wise, you guys start off going down to Oklahoma next weekend, and then you got some other games mixed in there. Obviously, go down to Tucson for a few days as well. I'll talk about the non-conference first, and then we'll get into talking about the Heart.
Yeah, we open up down in Oklahoma, and I've never been to this particular area in Oklahoma. Well, I've been through there,
right.
Just south of Oklahoma City. Some of this is, you know, has spawned because of our new conference schedule and everything, and we're having to even start maybe a week or so earlier than we normally would want to.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, and so we're just to pick up the amount of games.
Yeah.
And but we're starting off. We're going to play York College down south of Kansas, or south of Oklahoma City, and Bacone. I've never played Bacone. That's in Moore, Oklahoma. That's where we play York, and then Bacone, I think it's in Muskogee, Oklahoma. And so that'll be, York is a very, very good team. They hit 75 home runs last year. And they stole somewhere around 175 bases. 2 years ago, they were 46 and 17. They've been in a national tournament 2 out of the last 3 years. So that is a very, very good team to... You know, and they're going to play before they play us. The teams in Oklahoma, obviously the indigenous teams, obviously they're probably, you know, they probably started this last weekend in January.
Yeah.
So they'll have some games under their belts. So those early games, you're just trying not to do anything out of your normal. Don't try to do too much.
Yeah.
Don't get picked off.
Right.
Don't, you know, try to get too quick with the ball. You know, let the ball come to you. Let the game come to you a little bit, and don't. You know, just because it's the first time, let's just settle down a little bit and let the game come to us. So after that weekend, we are in Joplin, Missouri again. Really good NAI teams down there. That's a nice tournament down there. They do that for a couple weeks. A lot of, I think 7 of our conference schools play in that tournament that weekend. Including Grandview, Graceland, Culver Stockton, Peru State, Benedictine, Mid-America. All those schools are down there. We don't play them,
right.
But we're playing mostly the GPAC, a lot of GPAC schools. So that'll be fun. If we win, it'll be fun.
Exactly.
But it'll be a good trip.
Yeah.
And then the following weekend, never been down here at Millington, Tennessee, USA Baseball Stadium. We're starting off with got 4-game series down there. Some teams we've never played before.
Right.
Haven't played Indiana Tech since the Super Regional back in the old days.
Before I was here.
And their coach is a good friend of mine too, Kip McWilliams, and they're really on a roll. They were really good last year. They're kind of a top 20 team every year. So we start off with them down there right away. We got Shawnee State out of Ohio. Never played them. Got Indiana University at Kokomo. Never played them. So that'll be fun. So that's that last weekend in February before we go down to Tucson.
And then you got Tucson for a handful of days, and then you come back, and before you know it, we're in hard competition.
Yeah.
And you got 32 games, I think.
Yeah, that Tucson gig is a little bit. It's going to be kind of interesting. We're obviously not going to be playing 10 or 12 games or 14 games like we have some years down there.
Yeah.
We can't. But our opening doubleheaders against Concordia out of Nebraska, they won their league last year. Concordia is real good. They won the league. Like I said, they're picked to win it. Or maybe they're picked second or third this year, but they're good. They're legit. So that'll be a very, very good competition there. And I think we played Dakota Wesleyan and Briarcliff also down there. All doubleheaders before we head back up towards Olathe, Kansas.
Yeah.
And we're going to practice there. We're not coming all the way back to Iowa. We're going to stay there. We've got a place to work out. Before we open up with Mid-Am on the 9th, and then at Benedictine on the 10th, then back here. Finally get back here after about 25 games on the road.
Right. Let's talk about the Heart. Tough conference. Clark, Central Methodist have been up there. Grandview's a solid team. A lot of good teams have popped up there. Maybe some surprise teams. I don't know. Teams that haven't traditionally been great. Especially Clark's really come on the last couple of years. But I guess talk about your thoughts on the conference, where what it looks like going into this year. Obviously, just all speculation right now, and then where William Penn kind of figures into the mix.
Yeah, I'm kind of the North Side Raider, or not Raider. I kind of talk with the, and then there's a South guy too, and we get together and talk with the guy that is a Raider in the conference. So I have to accumulate, or have conversations with all the coaches and say, what do you guys think about? What do you got? What's coming in? What do you got back?
Right.
All that sort of stuff. So I have a little bit of an idea, I think, of what some of the teams are thinking, or some of the coaches are thinking. And guess what? Everybody thinks they're better.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
We're better.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind we'll be better. I think it'll be a lot more fun to be around, and play, be around the guys, I think. But the other teams, this league in baseball is very, very good. There aren't 2 or 3 or 4 teams, 5 teams at the bottom of the league that you can just kind of show up and beat. It just isn't the way it is with baseball.
Especially when you're playing a 4-game set.
Yeah,
and everything.
yeah.
It's really difficult.
So, Clark's just absolutely 100% loaded. And I talk with Dan Spain frequently. He brought in 28 transfers this year. 28. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, in 1 year. And he's got somewhere in the neighborhood of upwards of 45 juniors and seniors on that team, and they were ranked as high as 6th last year.
Exactly. Yeah.
Are you kidding me? He's loaded.
Yeah.
They could go way far into the tournament, and they have a really, really tough schedule on the road. Real tough schedule on the road, and they don't back off of anybody. They're good. They got guys. Got a lot of guys. So almost probably too many guys in some ways, but they're going to be very, very good. Grandview's, they got a lot of guys back. They're going to be good again, of course. And Peru State's tough. Peru State, he's back the old coach. He's not old as far as years, but he was the coach that was there for several years. Left and went to Florida. Good guy, came back, and he's brought a whole bunch of Florida kids in, a whole bunch of Puerto Rican players, about 9 or 10 of them.
Okay.
They're gonna be good. They're gonna be real good. Culver's, Culver's good.
Yeah.
Culver's got a lot of guys. Mount Mercy, Jack Dom's over there. They got a brand new facility. That's a real good area to recruit from. I mean, Jack Dom was a D1 head coach for 20 years, and he's got some connections, and so you get some guys in there. Brady down at Graceland has done a nice job down there. He's got some players in too, so some good players in, and they took 3 out of 4 from us last year down there. So I don't, man, it's from the north side and south side, there probably isn't. I remember in the old days, the old Iowa Conference days, you'd play some teams occasionally, and you'd go, yeah, we could beat these guys on a bad day.
Yeah.
You just can't do that.
Right.
In
Gotta show
art. Yeah. And Central Methodist will obviously be real good. Mid-America, Benedictine is real strong this year. Evangel's good. Man, I don't know. I don't know who isn't good.
Yeah, and it's probably true. They're probably not. I mean, you just consistency is obviously going to be everybody's issue. Is you're good, but can you be good every day?
Yeah, and who can take 3 out of 4 once in a while? I mean, it's going to be that close. And we had 12. We lost 12 one-run games last year. It wasn't like we just we just got blown out of the out of the game or something. And boy, that wears on everybody.
Exactly.
And so we're hoping to stay out of that situation and win some of those close games.
Sure.
So we don't, that doesn't happen again. But a good group, real good group. The league's tough. The league's really good. I think Central Methodist they were ranked 9th. They were in the top 10 too at one time. And then Mid-Am's top 25 team. There's several teams that are pretty darn good.
Yeah, definitely. I guess finally, keys to success. What's it going to take? So many new guys in there, and not to say that just because they're new doesn't mean they're not experienced. They have swung the stick and they've caught balls and everything. They're going to be ready to go. But what's it going to take to make the improvement that you want to see this year? Get back into the hunt.
We got to be consistent. Baseball is one of those games where it's not dominated by athleticism necessarily. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, it helps to have really good athletes in any sport. Everybody knows that. But we don't have to have 6'9" guys, or we don't have to have guys that run, 4.2, 4.3 40s to be a good baseball team. Yeah. We do have some better athletes, though, than we did. That said, we do have some better athletes than last year. And we've got guys that can play different positions. We're more flexible. We've got deeper pitching staff. Again, we don't have a bunch of guys throwing 90 miles an hour, but we got to be, if we're smart, which I think this team's going to be smart. If we're smart and we make plays, we're a pretty decent team. Yeah. And I like our chances. Yeah. So, the big thing is, the cohesion, and everybody talks over, it's almost overrated, the team chemistry, all that kind of stuff. Well, team chemistry's got to be positive chemistry. It can't be we just like each other because we're losing and we feel sorry for ourselves. We got good chemistry, but it can't be that way. Yeah. And last year I think it went that direction a little bit. But I'm real happy with these guys. They've all worked hard almost from day one in the fall. They've worked a lot harder than some other times, and it's a fresh group of guys, and they're anxious to get going. So, but we got to win some close games. Sure. And once you get that in your head and you develop confidence, of course we got to do the right things at practice. We got to practice the right things. We got to try to practice perfectly. We were talking about that at this morning at 6 a.m. stuff. So, wake up. We got to do this right. We're playing in a week. Right. Exactly. Let's get this going. So, But I really like the team. Really good guys, good players. We got some depth. So hopefully we'll turn this around and get it back where it was.
There you go. All right, Coach. Well, good luck this season. You guys starting in Oklahoma next week. As you said, you're back home, I think the weekend of the 17th, 18th, I recall. Yeah. So check out the guys when they get back. Best of luck on the start of the season, the road trip that goes on for a month and a half. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll keep tabs of you. Catch everything William Penn Baseball and William Penn everything, SafetyAthletics.com. All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.